SCOTUS.
Broadcast.
Hello and welcome to the broadcast with Amanda, Shandy, and Colleen. My name is Colleen.
My name is Amanda.
And I'm Shandy.
Welcome to the show, everybody. This is season 7, episode 271. We're back to where the episodes are easy to remember what number they are because they all match.
Yes. Yes.
Love those odd-numbered seasons for that. Hello. Ro is joining us. Elena is joining us. We are live with the Hangout level patrons.
I love it.
If you would like to become...
I was just going to say we have a North Carolina majority here.
Oh my God, we do.
And in the chat.
Oh, actually, we're split.
I would like to point out it's 3-2.
3-2, because Ro is in. Yeah.
I've got, some New York representation here, so,
Yeah. 3-2 ain't bad.
Yeah, 3-2 ain't bad. Nobody's left out.
I was just going to say, if you'd like to become a patron and join us on these live hangout chats, the broadcaster's 3. That's if you want to email us, you can do that too. Patreon.com/JandJack. Anyway, Shandy is growing avocados.
Oh, no. Correction.
Franck is growing avocados.
But you're there too.
All the credit to him. I water it sometimes, but no, it's his baby. It's right behind me.
So then is that like
all the way from Monterey?
Is that a little tiny avocado that's growing off of it? There's like a little brown. The bottom. Is that a leaf? Just a sad leaf?
It's a sad leaf. It did travel 2,800 miles.
It's a little stressed out.
Yeah. I imagine at some point in time it could be avocados growing on it.
I think that we need to have a Franck's Cooking and Gardening Show segment.
Yes.
Propagating with the Frenchman. Propagating with the Frenchman.
Yes. Franck. Because again, we are still in the same hotel room. So I am going to inform Franck, who's right on the other side of this computer. Hey, Franck, they're calling for a Franck's Home and Garden segment at some point in time to explain the avocado.
And other things, like how to make mayo from homemade.
And other things, like how to make mayo.
And raclette. We can have a raclette tutorial.
We got all summer.
Sure.
I feel like the people would like that.
We're in summer season, baby.
Well, raclette is not summer season.
No.
Doesn't matter.
I mean, we don't have to do them all in the summer. It doesn't have to be a summer series. We can maybe make them seasonal.
True. Yeah.
Shandy, how are you settling into North Carolina life?
I'm settling in fine, but last time we spoke, we had put in 2 offers, and neither were accepted. Now, this week, the count is up to 4. So maybe 5th time's the charm?
Maybe.
We'll see.
Good news, you're wasting no time. You're like getting in there and you're doing it. You're doing the thing.
Right?
You're doing it live, man. But everyone else is also doing it live with more cash and
Well,
what can you do?
At least you're in good company. I feel like that is just the totality of the housing market in America right now.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It is it's a weird time to be looking for a house. I still feel very thankful that I am looking for a house. If you hear noise behind me, it's Gabby. We got her. I don't know if you could hear that.
Yes.
But, okay. We got her one of those tube things, that she can run through.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. And it makes the crinkly noise, and it's really soft inside, so it's also kind of like a fun bed. But anyway, anytime she moves, it crinkles, and we're all
kind
here
of want one for me.
For real.
Anyway, guys, it's been a very long, eventful, action-packed 7 days since we talked last.
Yeah, for better or for worse.
Sure
More worse than better, but
Yeah.
Mainly worse.
Yeah. For worse and worse.
The Supreme Court sucks. I think
turns out, getting stabbed in the front still hurts because you're still being stabbed.
Right.
And
I did
the surprise makes it no worse and no better.
Yep.
Let's see what else happened. Let's see. I'm trying to think. There was a whole bunch of stuff. I just was remembering off the top of my head before we record. I should have written it down. Let's see. The January 6th hearings have been insanity as well. I know Roe is only turned in to watch us talk about ketchup smeared across the wall, dripping down.
Can I just say, I mean, okay, granted, I will have some ketchup like with my fries if I get like
Ketchup
a burger
is disgusting.
I felt like I had to, admit that I do sometimes indulge in ketchup. But what self-respecting 70-something-year-old regularly eats ketchup as part of their dinner? Just as like a side note, just gotta ask the question.
A person who literally only eats McDonald's because he thinks other people are going to poison him. Which, again, he's always fancied himself to be a mob boss, but this motherfucker sent like Jason Miller or somebody to Rudy Giuliani to do like the worst witness tampering, like the dumbest in writing, and it's just
it's laughably bad.
It's laughably bad. As I described today's special hearing, so up until this point, they were fairly serious. It was a lot of it was all conservative, right wing people, not the deep state, like really, getting in there and testifying stuff that was pretty damaging and made a really good case. But today's testimony had Cassidy Hutchinson, who is a former deputy chief of staff, or the chief of staff for Mark Meadows, who was the chief of staff for the White House.
She was like his senior aide or something.
Okay. I think her official title was senior aide, or she was like the chief of staff for him. Like she was.
Okay. Because whatever, like her lower third, like when I was like the news
when they were reading her LinkedIn profile at the beginning,
former aide.
Yeah.
I also missed the beginning, so I missed like how they introduced her.
So essentially they were establishing that she's like in with all these people. She used to work for Steve Scalise, and who's the minority whip, and Ted Cruz, and like, she was a full-on MAGA, and then
was an asshole.
And then
she's also like 26. That's a pretty illustrious resume for being so early in one's career.
Well, I mean, do you really need to? If you're a woman, you just need to be good-looking and young in order to have a career in the MAGA party.
Is probably pretty high in those offices.
Oh my God. Guess. So Mark Meadows must have stopped returning her phone calls because she got a new lawyer and suddenly was very willing to talk and gave this crazy testimony today, which I'm sure everybody listening to this right now, hey Greg is here, is familiar with this by this point, but apparently Trump allegedly tried to hijack a presidential limousine called the Beast with one hand, and then with his free hand try to like choke out a service agent that came in straight with a straight face. And like then he threw a temper tantrum back when they refused to take him down to riot with. Can you imagine if they had just let him go to the Capitol? He could have been arrested that day, and this all could have just been taken care of.
I'm actually surprised he wanted to go so bad, because we know, like, bone spurs. Like, he's a coward. So anywhere there's danger, you would assume Donald Trump does.
I don't think he saw. I think he saw it as, I'm their king, and I want to go to there and be where the people who are doing this for me is. And I think he just wanted the attention and didn't care.
Sure sounds like it. Yeah, sure sounds like it.
Anyway, apparently he threw a big temper tantrum and like threw his lunch at the wall, and he's thrown like dishes and plates before, and just overall 6-year-old behavior, really. 6-year-old, 4-year-old, 3-year-old, I mean,
which is like not surprising, but like
exactly
shocking given that like
he's 75 years old, 6 years old,
grown man, the president of the United States, and like,
I'm the fucking president, take me down to the Capitol is what he said.
But anyway, Shandy, you were going to say something probably much more eloquent, so please go.
No, just, I mean, like, what's going to be the consequences? Probably none.
Well, yeah. I mean, throwing things and all that. That's I guess not technically illegal. But there was that whole Meadows and Trump and Giuliani and seditious conspiracy and
but it certainly makes a case that not only was he aware of what was going on, he was very much in the thick of it.
Mm-hmm. And there's
what's going to be the fallout? Are they going to have any actual consequences at the very top? Probably not. Are his supporters going to change their minds? Probably not.
Oh yeah,
That's so frustrating. It's this is not surprising to us. We knew this from the beginning.
I think we're
in 2015.
I hate to say it, but I think we're going to have President DeSantis in 2024, and that scares the absolute ever-loving shit out of me, because I was in Florida this past weekend, and Greg is here. He's probably can attest. There are DeSantis flags, and people were just, wearing Let's Go Brandon shirts out and about, and I was like, oh, I hate Florida, even though it's beautiful here and lovely. Lovely state, shitty politics.
Yeah, ass backwards.
Ass backwards. But, Shandy, now that you've seen it, would you agree with my description that it was soap opera trash mixed in amongst seditious conspiracy? And that's why it's so compelling?
100%. I still have about a half an hour left, so that's just a little treat for me.
But I hope you can finish it. So you haven't even gotten
to the last drop.
You haven't even gotten to the point where Liz Cheney's about to wrap it up, and she's like, "Oh, P.S. We have proof of witness tampering. Here's some statements." Spoiler alert.
I just wish there nowadays there are consequences for shit like this, because there aren't, and that's at least what it feels like. It's just there aren't.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just hope.
Right. Imagine being
I feel like I need to keep telling myself that how this can't end in criminal charges for somebody.
And somebody will take the fall. Somebody always takes the fall. It'll probably be Mark Meadows.
I need to keep believing that.
But not, But I don't want just somebody to take the fall. I want the people at the top.
I want the people that deserve to take the fall.
You know who's going to take the fall?
To take the fall. The people that have committed the crime should do the time, as they say.
It's going to be Mark Meadows, who is also in trouble in North Carolina for voting twice.
Right. I forgot about that.
The dumbest fucking you were a congressman, you dumb motherfucker. Do you not know? Of course you're going to get flagged, you dumbass. Of course you're going to get flagged. Just all around stupid. I always forget, and it's like Jim Jordan and Mark Meadows. Was it Mark Meadows that had the temper tantrum during the Kavanaugh hearings when he was called out by Rashida Tlaib for being like, here's our black friend, and remember that?
Remember.
And then he stomped his feet and was like, I want an apology from the mean brown lady.
Oh my god, that whole thing was so, such another trauma that has now come to full fruition, and for the people. For the people who didn't think it was that big of a deal at the time, I would just like to say, hey, how do you feel about that now?
They probably don't care.
No. Thinking of one person in particular who might listen to this episode and who was like, it's fine. It's fine if he likes beer. He didn't do anything wrong. Oh, he won't strike down Roe. How do you feel now? Just saying.
Oh my goodness.
But of course, also it's of course these people who are doing this shit that we're seeing in the January 6th committee, are the same people who put into place the conditions for what just happened with the Supreme Court to happen. Of course.
Right.
It's all
connected.
So before
it's all connected, and again, no fucking consequences. If here's the thing, if there's not going to be consequences, because I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't see it, because I don't have any reason up until this point to believe that that's ever happened with this particular president. But if people would at least wake up and switch sides, that would be enough. if there's not going to be consequences for him, if at least like a lot of Republicans were like, oh, maybe I shouldn't support this party. And like would come over and vote Democrat, then it would be worth it. Then it would be okay. Like then it, I could do without the criminal charges, I guess. But
I can't.
I don't think either of those things are going to happen. So it's just.
It's like 70 some odd years of this person getting away with everything they've gotten away with. Like, good God. Like, so, there just needs to be some consequence.
Do you know what I think the best case scenario is at this point, honestly? I think the best case scenario is that in the primaries, Trump and DeSantis go after each other. DeSantis... if Trump wins, I don't think that he'll be reelected. I don't know. Famous last words, I didn't think he was going to elect the first time. But I think it would be easier to beat Trump than to beat DeSantis. Because I have actually had this conversation now with multiple people, including strangers on the Pajiba blog that I read, who tried to, tell me that I was wrong. I'm like, no, that DeSantis, he only lost by half a point, and, Florida didn't really like him. I'm like, Florida fucking loves him now. Like, are you kidding me? The people outside of Florida, June, I can count. I met up with one of my old college professors while I was on Marco Island. Shout out Tim Massey, one of the best professors I had. And we were just, talking about various things. And actually, he and his husband moved down there. They split their time between Poughkeepsie and Naples. And they were saying that if Obergefell gets overturned, they're going to have to leave Florida because, they're in their mid-60s and they have genuine concerns about what would happen if one of them got sick or passed away. And there's legitimate things for people to worry about who have been established in their marriages and relationships for all these years now. And I was like, I know, and we had met up at 8:30, and I think he dropped me off back. My family was at this playground, and they were kind enough. It was a mile away. I was gonna walk because me, I'm always like, I'll walk everywhere, and they were like, no, that's silly. So they dropped me off, and they dropped me off maybe a half an hour before the ruling came out. And I was just saying, I was like, I know Roe is coming any day. It's either going to be today or it's going to be next week, and it's just scary times that we live in. Whoa. Okay, I'm the no one now that's unmuted, and I feel very awkward about this. Now I feel like I'm soliloquying.
No, you're good. You're good. I'll be in and out. That's what she said.
So the best case, worst case, I think that's easier to beat Trump. I think, though, DeSantis is going to get the nominee, and I hope that Trump is so ego-wounded and he does his Trump thing where he just, derails DeSantis so much with opposition shit that it, because he wants, if only Trump could have won, so that way he could, it's like when your team loses in, the semifinals, and then you want the team that beat them to win, so, because if I couldn't do it, nobody else could, you know what I mean? Well, that was a terrible analogy, because that would mean DeSantis could win. So, Trump is not that person. I feel like you just got to get him mad enough that he loses in the primary, and then, raises enough fuss to be pissed that the guy that beat him, doesn't want him to win that. I think that might be our best case scenario, but I do really fear 2024, and I'm so sorry to start this on a downer note, because we're going to talk about the Supreme Court decisions in a minute, and that's an even more downer note. And I promise, Ro, I have ketchup jokes that I looked up, because I know you are just here for the ketchup.
Is that the episode title, maybe? Just here for the ketchup?
Just here for the ketchup? No, because I am never here for the ketchup. Ew. They remind me of fish sticks.
That's why it's funny.
Anyway, why are tomatoes the slowest vegetable? Because they can't catch up. Ha 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 ha.
Ooh, that's some dad joke quality right there.
If tomatoes are a fruit, does that mean ketchup is a smoothie?
Oh, gross. Sorry, that took a minute to settle in.
Anyway, that's basically it. There's a whole bunch of jokes, and the punchline is involves catching up. Ooh, there's some gross ones. There's a Jeffrey Dahmer one. We're not reading that one.
No.
These are all for you, Ro. This is the rabbit hole I'm going on for you. Let's see. I don't put ketchup and mustard on my hot dog. I relish it. Ha 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 ha. Okay. Seriously, they all have ketchup as a punchline.
Yeah. It's only so much you can do.
Yeah. Before the bottle comes up empty.
Did you hear ketchup and mustard are moving in together? They're renting a condominium.
You had to work hard for that one.
Yeah. I feel like there's a better joke with condominium.
Oh.
No?
We'll have to
It's
workshop
the
it.
hump version.
Yeah.
How did the hot dog ask the ketchup out? He mustered up the courage. These are all super dumb. What did the fast tomato say to the slow tomato? Come on, catch up.
Ketchup.
All right, we're done.
For the record, Rose says, I wanted Trump jokes, not ketchup.
Did you hear the one about the baby boomer?
What about the insurrection?
Is that blood all over the walls, or did Trump just get mad and throw his
ketchup?
His burger? Oh my god!
Thought this is how you make a smash burger.
I wonder how much damage that man did in the Oval Office. Although it is incredible the amount of work that he put into allegedly doing the insurrection, because that man was a lazy motherfucker for all 4 years of his presidency.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point.
No, I don't know. I guess you just need to find the
orders.
right. Yeah, just find the right motivation. Anyway, do we? So who knows what's to come in this adventure that we're calling the January 6th committee hearings?
Yeah, stay tuned.
Hopefully, consequences.
Hopefully. Yeah, ideally
I'm
consequences.
I'm holding out for consequences. I'm still on the optimistic train.
I am not, but
I can't get off, guys. I can't.
I know.
That's what she said. Whatever.
Oh, good one.
I hope she didn't say that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna go mute myself again.
All right. Do we want to talk about the thing? And by the thing, I mean Roe and Casey being overturned. And
I mean, do we want to talk about it? Do we need to talk about it?
well, we got a bunch of feedback about it. So I think that there is definitely a need to talk about it.
Yes.
Yes. We got an email, just cutting right to the chase. We got an email from Jessica, who said, does anyone want to read it?
Hold on. I have to find what of all the million tabs I have open, which one is our outline. If someone else gets to it first, please, by all means. Okay.
Matt says, Matt's here. Hi, Matt. Things are so bad she can't even get off.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got it up, guys. I'm ready to go.
All right. Jessica's email. Here we go.
Jessica writes to us. Well, that sucked. Yeah, it did. Hi, ladies. Well, let's not beat around the bush. I am pissed off. I am sure you already discussed how we now have less rights than guns. Sorry for the language. You can censor if you would like. We're not really in the censoring business around here.
Fucking ketchup.
Fucking ketchup. Fuck the Supreme Court. Fuck the Republicans for everything. Fuck the Democrats that knew this was coming but have done nothing to try and stop it or even have a law in place ready to go. Fuck Trump for every one of his lies. and fuck anyone that voted for him and still thinks he is a god. We all know that he has paid for an abortion or two.
Like Ivanka.
Or 7.
Like Ivanka's allegedly. That. Mm-hmm, did you see that somebody tweeted at Ivanka this weekend that she went to high school with and was like, hey, Ivanka, you've been really silent on this subject. You've been quiet about this subject. Your friends that took you to get an abortion in high school aren't.
Yeah, I had not seen it myself, but I had heard,
Yeah.
I'd seen like other memes that mention it.
Yeah.
Sorry, can you also now hear the feral cats out in the alley?
I was wondering if it was cat or baby. I landed on cat, but I wasn't sure.
It's not my cat. It's not my baby. It's a symphony. It's a choir of feral cats that apparently live out back. Okay, sorry. We have to pause this email. Jessica, we will get back to your email. Let me tell you the story about the singing cats.
Okay. Oh, Lordy.
So they were there maybe like a month ago, and it was this every night. It was this every night.
Oh my God, we traded seagulls for feral cats.
Yeah. And then one evening when Eden and I were walking home from daycare, there was what I assume was animal control or the ASPCA or somebody with like half a block lined of like cages. Like, you know, have you ever seen like those like humane like traps?
Yeah.
Well, they had like 40 of those.
Oh my God.
I saw a documentary on it. At the festival I went to.
So like I was like, oh, that must be for the feral cats out back. And then we had like 4 weeks of just like blissful quiet. I was like, oh, they took the cats away because they shouldn't be back there.
Or they just took them to neuter and spay them.
Exactly. I think it was a catch and release situation because as of 2 days ago, they're back to their nightly serenades. So, sorry.
That's all right. Matt says, let's see, we've got in the chat, we've got cat fight. Rose says, holy cats. And Matt says, you need to set up a webcam and film this.
But that's the thing. You can't actually see them out there. I keep trying to... We have several windows that all look over into this, like, you know, backspace behind our building.
Yeah.
And I can never see where the noise is coming from. When I say it's like a choir of cats, it could just be like 2 really loud cats. Like, I have no idea. It just sounds like a lot. But anyway, quick, let's get back to Jessica's email before the cats start up again.
The cats
or the alarm upstairs goes.
The cats are really, really mad about Roe versus Wade being overturned as well.
I mean, can you blame them?
Yeah, they were like, meow! All those women lost their constitutional right to have an abortion. Meow!
Yeah, all pussies and then some are pissed.
Solidarity.
Solidarity.
Okay. Where did I leave off? Hold on. Okay. Also, fuck the young woman outside of the Supreme Court celebrating and not realizing that they just had their own rights taken away. Did any one of them see Dirty Dancing?
Yes, fuck the Daily. We don't need to see those people on. We don't need to hear from them. They did entire episodes dedicated to them. Like, fuck you, the Daily, that you opened up with your fucking post-Roe episode, your first one, with fucking anti-choice bitches. Like, I'm sorry. Who went out of her way. You guys probably listened and were like... Because I was like, all right, I'm gonna go feel like solidarity. I like the Daily's work.
Yeah,
and the very opening,
the lead on that.
The very opening thing was with this woman who traveled all the way from California to protest with the white men and to realize that they actually have some solidarity together. And I was just like, ugh.
But also the way they sort of teased it out, it made it. You just assumed that she was, protesting against the ruling, not in celebration of. So it like really, it was felt a little cruel when we were so
super cruel,
so raw, so Michael Barbaro, not cool, man.
Seriously,
not cool.
Fuck you, the Daily, for that. Anyway, sorry, Jessica.
Anyway, language, right? Did any one of them see Dirty Dancing? Penny had an abortion, and a guy had a folding table and a dirty knife. that will happen again. Since the beginning of time, women have fought for better health care. The history of women's health care is still very much in the toddler phase. Roe v. Wade finally gave women a choice on motherhood and their own destinies. This decision is going to put a strain on the overcrowded and underfunded foster care and adoption systems. And, welfare and a whole host of other, anyway. Stop.
Well, you assume that they're not going to just come in 2024 and gut all that shit because, those slutty people, those slutty women should learn to live with their consequences and bootstrap their own kids.
Because once the fetus becomes a baby, we don't really care so much anymore because you assign a dollar sign to them and, small government. Okay, anyway, sorry, where did I leave off? Decision is going to put on strain in overcrowded and underfunded foster care and adoption systems. If doctors really will be prosecuted, you will see a lot of them leave the field, and there are not many going into the field as it is. And then the court system and police will have more on their plates also. Courts are already behind with trials after the pandemic. I could write more, but I should stop. Again, I am pissed off, and I fear for the next generation if a full law is not passed soon. I do not want the next generation to have to go backwards. Jessica. P.S. If you want to, Colleen, you can read the Lake Superior comic for my Facebook page. That might cheer everyone up.
Yes. Have you guys seen this?
No, I'm not sure.
Oh, you have not? Okay.
That's why I was like, is that not a read out loud part?
No, it is. Okay. So the Lake Superior there's a parody account or satirical account for Lake Superior in New York, one of the Great Lakes. And the tweet that the person behind this account at Lake Superior that has gotten all the attention is, "This lake vehemently stands with women having the right to choose." And some dude named Ryan replies in the replies, "Yep, I follow at Lake Superior for political tapes. Man, can't anything just be fun?" And then Lake Superior goes off. To begin, water is one of the most politicized resources in the world.
Ooh,
I, sir, am water. Secondly, if you need to unfollow an account because one in every 432 tweets from a satirical geographic Twitter account is political instead of fun, you need to work on your fragility. Thirdly, a large portion of life is not about being fun. A lot of life is about standing up for the rights of others, especially in the face of historical imbalances that have historically favored cis white males while leaving others greatly disadvantaged. And then, obviously, the replies to that were like, "Lake Superior hasn't wrecked anything this bad since the Edmund Fitzgerald." And all sorts of I am here for Lake Superior to wreck it. And another one was somebody also replied to the same tweet about standing with women's rights to choose. Water. This guy is named Tom. Tom Fitton. He's a blue check mark, so I guess he's a person of some sort. Obviously, he's a person. Now, he's legally been a person since he was a little itty bitty bit of
since conception, apparently. Depending on who you ask.
Water is wet, and abortion kills a human being. And Lake Superior, Thomas, not even your first talking point is correct. Water is not wet. What water touches is wet. I'm confident I have a lot more experience in making things wet than you do.
Oh.
Solid burn, right?
Sick
Solid burn. Truly, I actually, you know what? I should right now while I'm thinking about it, I should go follow that account because it is.
Yeah, seriously, sold.
All the sold. I mean, let's see.
No,
someone check on Lake Superior because it's on fire. And it now has a 100 and almost 162,000 followers. Joined in March 2009 though, so yeah, great. All the good times. So thank you, Jessica, for bringing that to my attention.
That's great.
Yeah, that gave me a good smile.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Jessica. So to address your email, and I guess if anybody in the chat has anything to Matt says, call that guy Michael Weston because I'm issuing a burn notice. I love that show, Burn Notice. That was great.
Never watched it.
Oh, it was fun. I mean, all those USA funds are all of those USA shows are fun. But yeah, so a couple things. Dirty Dancing. Penny with the abortion, the knife and the folding table and, you know, the coat hanger abortions and all that. Thankfully, we live in a day and age where systems are in place to help women get access to misinprofithol or whatever.
The abortion pill?
The abortion pill, or however you pronounce it. And I was listening to, I don't know if it was the Daily, but Pod Save America also had a woman on their show from this morning. And she was like the executive director or something of one of the, activist groups. And she had some really good stuff to say. And she also stressed, which I have been seeing a lot of on, like, for all the people that, you know, say on Twitter that they like want to be heroes and like, you can come camping in my state. Like, if you want to be helpful and be a hero, like there are groups all over the place who are actually specifically designed to specialize in discreetly helping somebody get access to reproductive health care. And sometimes, you know, you might mean well, but like sometimes it truly is just best to let the professionals do it because that's what they're there for. So like these networks are in place specifically because they know what they're doing. They have the infrastructure. They might need help funding, but like they do that. So just keep that in mind. But whatever it was that I was listening to, they were talking about how in Texas since September, there's, I guess, a company in Europe that sells the abortion pill. And, you know, since then, like, I think it's like 60,000 or some crazy number of women per month in Texas are actually ordering it and getting it shipped to them. And since going through your mail is a felony, you know, it's tough to... So, like, you know, I hopefully we do not have to go back down a back alley coat hanger route. You know, we'll have more modern ways of resisting. Like in Mexico, they had this whole system with the abortion pill where they were able to get it to women discreetly so that we didn't have to do like the surgical procedures. Now, of course, that doesn't answer every abortion issue. And of course, if you take a pill and you have complications, like for any reason, never say you took it because the symptoms of taking the pill gone wrong, which even though it's incredibly safe, and the symptoms of a miscarriage are the exact same, and no doctor is going to know the difference. They might try to get it out of you, but then they have a duty to report you. So just like you have the right to remain silent, and cops don't have to even read you your Miranda rights anymore, apparently, because the Supreme Court fucking sucks, you have the right to lie to your doctor or just not say anything. Just say, I was pregnant and now I'm bleeding. That's it.
Right.
Never admit to it. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out, that there is infrastructure in place, and AOC's Instagram and social medias, like, she has been on fire with tips and resources and ways to help and, you know, places you can go and things that you can do. So she's been like really stepped up to the plate in terms of like talking people through like ways that you can help. But I just, want to point that out. And I don't know, I'll let somebody else talk before I get to my next point of, yeah.
Well, and I think you brought up a really good point of like in social media makes it very easy to feel like you're doing something.
Yes.
That it is very easy when you feel helpless and like you're angry and you have no control over a situation. Sharing a meme feels productive. You know, in the same way as like picking at a scab or popping a zit feels productive.
Yeah. Sure
that
does.
It's not, but it's it feels like doing something is better than doing nothing, even if it is detrimental. So I do understand the impulse, but which I think is all the more reason. And I'm glad you brought up that point, Colleen, because I I am very behind on, listening to the resources that I should be listening to. And that's something that wouldn't have occurred to me. So I think, thank you for sharing that.
I had to drive 30 minutes past Fayetteville and Shandy this morning. Actually, no, it was like an hour past that. I had to drive 2 hours.
Oh my God, were you successful?
Sort of. I got it. I had to serve a subpoena to somebody that was ignoring FedEx. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I was half successful, but I had to drive 2 hours each way, so that's why I was able to catch up on everything this morning.
Wait, time out. You had to serve a subpoena.
Yes.
Not serve a penis, which is what it sounded like when you said it very fast. So I feel like it was very important to make that distinction and to correct it for the record.
Yes. To serve a subpoena.
Because if it sounded that way to me, I would imagine it will sound that way to somebody else. So let's be clear.
I just heard I had to service a penis. Yeah.
That Colleen was driving halfway across the state to service some random penis.
Right,
and I feel like we needed to clarify that
had
is
to
not
service
in fact
the penis,
what was happening.
Put a little ketchup on that wiener.
Yeah. Okay. Now that is clear. Continue.
I had 2 hours either way, so that's why I was caught up. And then I went for a run. I was so hyped up after the hearings, which I was watching them from my desk, which is in the open space because I don't have an office because they don't have enough offices in my office at the moment. And poor Catherine, my coworker, she sits on the opposite wall of me, and she was trying to work on something, and she had her door open, and I am sitting there with my headphones and just being like, oh my God, holy shit, this is insane. And she knew I was watching them. And at some point, I just dropped all pretense of because I had them on the laptop, and then on the big screen, I had an Excel spreadsheet up to pretend I was doing work, but it was very clearly obvious. I just dropped all pretenses. Once they got to the point about the Secret Service agent, I was like, oh fuck.
No, I mean really, this is democracy in action, people. We should be during the gosh darn day.
Oh my God. So anyway, yeah, I just blatantly just stopped doing work. And then at some point by 4:00, I was like, I gotta go. I'm so amped up. That was so insane. I gotta go. I'm gonna go running. I'm sorry. I'll see you tomorrow. I left early this morning. I gotta go. I'm so pumped up from this. I just can't. And she was like, I was like, just tell the others, they were in they were on the phone or in Zoom or something. I could hear them talking, but didn't know what was going on. I was like, just tell them I had to go. Bye. And she's like, oh, okay.
Tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, I was super pumped. They were crazy. And then to end it with his tampering. Oh, the best people.
Oh, man. Liz Cheney she's like, the bridge is already burned. Might as well scorch the earth, too.
Dude, when she's done with this, that woman is when she loses her re-election bid, that woman is going to march over to Merrick Garland and be like, give me a job. I've got unfinished business.
Oh, yeah. She's on a kamikaze mission at this point. She's burning it all down.
She's picturing the libraries that are going to be named after her in 100 years when this is all blown over.
Yeah.
Liz is in it conservatives, man, they play that long game. Liz is just in it for a library, maybe a concert stadium or something at some point. Oh, sorry. Also, I fell off a curb in Marco Island and cut my leg, and it's still pussing 3 days later.
Ooh.
So not great. Not
pussing. Great. Well, that's not great. You should maybe get some antibiotics for that.
Well, I was just sitting on my knees, and I moved it, and it had gotten the chair wet, so I was like, perhaps I should take care of this. I'm going to run up and spray some whatever and change the Band-Aid out when we take a commercial break. Anyway, so yeah, Supreme Court sucks. Yeah, it sucks, obviously. There are some really good podcasts out there that kind of break it down, too. I won't pretend to break down legal stuff. Just get outraged for everyone. Mm-hmm. The one thing, though, that really pisses me off, and I ranted about it on Twitter this weekend, are the white Republican women that I went to high school or college with who, mainly high school, who were all up on Facebook, clearly uncomfortable with the decision, but still wanting to defend their votes because, God forbid, we came to terms with the fact that our votes are trash because, you know, like the bitches who like the MLM ones and the you know, Black Lives Matter are Antifa believers, and they were on my Facebook and their whole thing, and my neighbor did the same thing. And instead of focusing on the actual issue at hand, they decided to play tone and civility police. The media just wants to divide. The media just wants to divide us all.
Constructive to say.
Right? One of them, like, the media just wants to divide us all. We all just need to ignore their evil tactics. And I'm like, bitch, I remember when you lost your pregnancy at 11 weeks and posted, you still fucking post about it, and you had to have 2 kids since then, and your youngest one is like 4. So for the last like 6 years, you've been fucking praising how you were able to have a DNC to help with your, your pregnancy that you lost at 11 weeks, and you've talked about it and talked about it and talked about it, and all of a sudden you're going to sit there and be like, this is the media's fault for making it sound worse than it is? Like, fuck you. And there were women calling her out in it, and then all of her, beach body and Lululemon friends and all the people that she, networks with, then they were all attacking the people that, were in there, including women that I am friends with that I have known since I was, 2 years old. And I was just like, I fucking hate all of you. You're all the worst. And my neighbor did the same thing, because she's anti-vax and anti-mask, so she posted, a really crude drawing of My Body, My Choice with, one of the angry feminists saying My Body, My Choice and, giving, the finger to somebody who didn't want to wear a mask. And then, My Body, My Choice protesting at the Supreme Court to show that, feminist women are just hypocrites or something like that. And it's just
somehow the same thing.
Right. There's somehow...
can we just, stop for a minute and, actually think about that?
And thankfully, she gets more people that push back because she's not in the, Long Island bubble or whatever. Where she had people be like, no, dummy, one affects everybody else. And my neighbor was she was up on it. And you know that she's losing an argument because her husband gets involved. And her husband has a minor in, everything. Whatever the issue is, he comes on. He's like, well, I did a lot of reading about this because I have a minor in it. I have a minor in this, and I have a minor in that. And I got a certificate in this.
Sorry, are you still in college?
Right. And can I just say, I have a minor in fine arts. Well, I can't draw to save my life, so just saying.
But anyway, just the amount of I really hate the people who are calling for let's be civil when it's no, you're clearly uncomfortable, but you don't want your reality shattered. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Is you don't want to have to face up to the fact that guess what? You were not protected at this point.
Yeah, civility doesn't fix you not being seen as a full human,
right?
A fully fledged citizen in your own society.
Yes.
Civility doesn't fix that.
And don't get me wrong, every single woman that I have seen screaming about how violence isn't the answer and how dare they get mad, it's the media's fault for making us feel. Every single one of those people were actively posting, don't make me take the vaccine. I don't want to take a vaccine and I don't want to wear a mask and masks are bad for your kids. They were those bitches, I'm sure, on a school board meeting, every single one. And it's well, I just can't. Thank you for letting me rant.
Am I supposed to be civil? It's the line keeps moving, so it's very hard to know.
Right? Only certain people can be civil. If you have to wear a mask,
in certain instances, masks you're allowed to that's just unreasonable, and you're allowed to just burn it to the ground. Mm-hmm. Autonomy over your body, let's pump the brakes and be kind to each other.
Yeah, and kudos to Jessica for standing up against this absolute fucking cunt who was screaming at her on Facebook about how abortion kills unborn babies and who stands up for their rights, and was just like all the talking points. And Jessica very calmly refuted every single one of them. And then my girl Kim got on there. You guys don't know Kim. She's an old school podcast person. And she got on there and straight up called her a cunt. And then that woman put her in Facebook jail by reporting her. Her little bitty snowflake feelings got hurt.
Because when you can't win an argument, the best way out is to tattle.
Yes.
I mean, we learned that in preschool, right?
We did. If somebody hurts your feelings, go tell a grown-up.
When there's no way to win, sit on the floor and cry foul.
Oh, man. Anyway, does anybody else have anything to talk about with this, what happened? I ranted about the people that have bothered me. I think we're all angry about the actual decision and all the other shitty decisions.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully, my bubble is nice and secure.
You're lucky. You're lucky.
No one really shows up on my feeds that argued in the opposite direction, which is good because, again, it's like when you're angry, you just want to rail against something, and it's nice to not have,
somebody coming in and being like, well, actually, it's a very interesting constitutional question.
Right. It's like, it's nice to not have something that's like teasing your lesser angels. Like it's nice to not be pulled down into the mud, that I can just like, okay, we're just gonna rage quietly and internally.
Yeah. Some of my favorite things online this weekend were actually the people who actually went back into history and like studied, well, let's see, what did they think about abortion back in the times that Clarence Thomas feels that everybody was against it?
Yeah.
It turns out Ben Franklin published a recipe for giving a woman an abortion.
Yeah, actually it wasn't frowned upon until like the 1880s.
Yeah.
And again, like I also think that's super interesting, and it's fun to like point at that. But like also, who fucking cares what they thought? Right. Like, who fucking cares what those fucking slave-owning assholes thought was okay and not okay?
Yes.
Seriously.
I just like owning people with the, here's why what you believe is bullshit.
You like coming at it with facts?
Sorry. Any last thoughts? And then we can move on. We've got a voicemail from Maggie, and I also pulled a few of if the inventor of the walkie-talkie, ...
Oh, good. I think we're going to need something to raise our spirits.
I think so, too. So let's take a quick break so I can go real quick spray some hydrogen peroxide on my oozing leg. Apologies.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, just give me like 60 seconds just to run up. I got the spray. Spray it, I'll come right back down. Maybe I'll just bring the spray down here and spray it here.
However you want to do it is fine. Let's just get that let's get that wound cleaned.
It's pretty deep. I'd show you, but I'm going to dress, and then I would have to show you my lady bits, which I guess is now, maybe that's going to be illegal soon. So
yeah.
Well, I mean, do they really belong to you? Is it really your decision to show
That's true. Let me go ask Jay if I can show you my lady bits. Hold on.
According to Clarence Thomas, they don't.
Right.
All right. We will be
chastity belts.
We'll be back in just a minute. All right, we are back. Before we get into the feedback, we have a little bit of a palate cleanser here for you. I think this might be my favorite part of the year. I'm sorry. This is one of my favorite things that we've now done 3 times. I don't think that I have any repeats, but it is what if the person that named the walkie-talkie named other things. As you'll remember, in the past, what were some of the other ones? It was like, what were the big ones? It was like a
Booty
stamps,
Tootie.
A Booty Tootie the fart, a defibrillator was a Hearty Starty, Licky Sticky, Bloaty Floaty was another one. What was that, like a hippo? Stabby Grabby, that was a fork.
Yep. Wanky Banky, Rose favorite.
Rose favorite. Roomy Vroomy. That was a vacuum, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
So I had to go deep into the search results to find ones that we haven't done before. If I do have any duplicates, I apologize in advance.
No, don't apologize, because they're gonna. Even if we've done them before, they're still gonna be fun.
Very true.
Yeah, I will have forgotten.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. All right. So the first one is a first aid kit.
Oh, I find it's easier to guess than the other way around. First aid kit.
An ouchie. Oh, I saw Colleen's reaction. Ouchie. Pouchy?
Yes!
Yeah, nice. Well done.
Ouchie pouchy. Let's see. A litter box. This should be super easy, guys. A litter box.
A poopy scoopy.
Close, but
That's what I was going to say.
who uses a litter box?
A kitty. A shitty kitty?
Kitty shitty.
I feel like a shitty kitty is something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's true.
It's a
That's
bad
fair.
pet.
That's fair.
That's
Yeah,
what we call Ivanka's vagina. Okay. No, I will not apologize. Thank you.
Don't take backsies.
I think we've done this before, but I don't know. It feels apropos, maybe. I don't know. A pregnancy test.
Yeah. Something not to tell the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Yes.
A secret.
Delete your period apps.
Yeah.
Or, you know what you should do? Anybody that is not of childbearing age or a physical male, that doesn't menstruate, needs to download these apps and just wreak havoc. Like, pull a BTS fan. Remember when the BTS kids fucked with the reporting system in Texas, and they fucked with the Trump tickets, the TikTok kids? Yeah. Get on that. Just flood all the period apps with all of the trash so they can't sort through
Good
the nonsense.
choice of word. Flood.
Thank you. That's my favorite monologue, isn't it? One of them.
Down there's talking to
Down
an
there.
old lady about it down there's.
I did that one. I love it.
It's a good one.
All right. Sorry. A pregnancy test.
Your piano stick.
I will say that this is more of its purpose rather than function.
It tells you if you're prego.
I do like Prego, though.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with Prego.
Okay.
Way
Yeah.
simpler than that.
The rhyming is too
Ooh,
hard.
Way simpler.
I like Rose.
Yeah.
And she is correct. A maybe baby.
A maybe, baby.
Holy shit! Good job, Rose.
I think we've done this one. If not, Rose genius. Let's see.
She's a genius.
She's a genius.
She's a genius. What about thong?
Thong.
Mm-hmm.
In Canadian French, it's a poop cutter.
No way.
Apparently, that's one of the slang terms for it.
Amazing.
The very colorful vocabulary.
Nice.
Yeah. A wacky cracky.
Yeah, I was going with crack.
Not crack, but
Not crack.
what is visible?
A tiny.
What is visible?
Rose says a cushy tushy.
Not much.
Not a cushy tushy. Or maybe it isn't. This is not the
cheek?
one that I have.
A cheek.
No panty lines.
A cheeky something. Am I right? Am I close?
A sneaky
Warmer?
cheeky?
You are
A
very
sneaky cheeky?
close. It's a cheeky peeky or peeky cheeky.
Cheeky peeky.
Oh, look at Rose. She has it.
Woohoo!
Cheeky.
What about
I think we can workshop these.
Yeah.
We can totally workshop these. Again, these all come from like Twitter and Reddit. I went to like multiple different sources here because all the good ones we've already done. Okay, what about a parrot?
Parrot.
A squawky talkie birdie.
Close.
Talkie. A parrot.
What is a parrot?
What is a parrot?
A bird.
It's a talking bird.
Okay.
It's a bird.
Okay, well, what rhymes with bird?
A
Turd.
turd.
A turdy birdie. No, it is not. Matt says a squawky
purdy
talkie.
birdie.
What'd you say?
Bird.
Matt said a squawky talkie. Nope. But everybody's in the right wheelhouse here. Okay, two more. Two more and a bonus. Condom. And this one is more silly. I will say that it is. This one's a very silly one. Condoms.
A wanky blanky.
Nope.
Oh, I like that.
You're on the right track, though. You're on the right track, but it's not quite. I do like Winky Blanky, though.
Something that you really, 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 really have to hope doesn't break now. Side note.
He uses the word weenie, is your hint. I told you
Teeny weeny.
It's a silly one.
A
A teeny weeny.
A weenie.
Just start thinking of rhymes. It'll come to you.
A cleany weenie.
A cleany weenie.
I like that.
No, but you are close in letters that it starts with to rhyme.
Ooh.
Clingy? No.
Do you give up?
Yeah.
A weenie beanie.
A weenie beanie.
A weenie beanie.
I thought that was fun. Okay. Two more. One more and a bonus. A crypt.
Crypt.
This one's actually a pretty good one. I like this one.
A Deddy Betty.
I do like Daddy
I
Betty.
love that one. That would have to be like a coffin, but I love that one.
A Daddy Shetty.
Ooh, you are on the right track. You're on the right track, but you have the wrong rhyme.
Okay.
So it's not deady or shetty. It doesn't rhyme with deady or dead or anything like that.
Okay.
So what is a crypt? This one describes a crypt more than like the function or the whatever. This just describes it.
Describes it. So it's a...
What is a crypt used for? Used as a...
Place to store dead bodies.
A place for remains.
Also known as a...
A Daddy Shetty.
I know. All right. Jesus came out of what after 3 days, allegedly? He was in the...
A cave.
Which was his...
Tomb.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, if you have to lay it out for us so clearly and we still can't come up with it.
I'm going to be...
Yeah, give me one more second though.
Okay. It rhymes with to me.
To me. Yeah, I figured.
Which you never go full. You never go full to me. Anyway. Sorry.
Never go to full to me?
No. You guys never remember that one?
I do. Oh, we lost Shandy. She was so offended. She was like...
Ro is very close.
To me roomy. To me... Yeah, no. It's not there.
So Rose, it's a roomy to me.
Roomy to me.
Okay, well, I will save the bonus one for whenever Shandy gets back because it's going to make her laugh.
Yeah.
Okay, she is actually restarting. Okay. Okay, so while we are waiting for Shandy to come back, we've got a voicemail from Maggie. It's 2 parts. So hopefully Shandy will be able to join us. Otherwise, we will catch her up. So without further ado, here is a little bit of feedback from Mags.
Shandy and Colleen, it's Maggie. I'm calling in to say happy belated birthday. Sorry, I missed the birthday party last week when I'm calling. My birthday and the podcast birthday around the same time, and I was just busy but missed it. And I finally caught up with the 3 movies you guys watched. The 90s movies. I was meaning to watch them and just didn't get around to them until just recently. I totally agree with Shandy. I love Clueless the most. And in Can't Hardly Wait, Preston's just kind of I don't find him that cute. In Can't Hardly Wait, it's definitely the movie I like the least. And it's probably the one I have probably only seen maybe twice. I probably saw it when it came out and then watched it again. I did totally remember stuff, a few things, or they're just tropes that, and I was impressed with how many people were in Can't Hardly Wait. So I was like, oh, Jason Segel. Oh, that, all those people. Now I can't remember all of them. And then I enjoyed 10 Things I Hate About You. I first saw it only for the first time a few years ago. This is only the second time I've watched it, so it's not really a teen comedy for me. It's not one I loved them then. So yay for Clueless. I now own a DVD, so thank you for that. I appreciate that. I'm sure you're going to talk about Friday, as I'm calling you, and overturning Roe v. Wade. It's just, you guys are going to be way more eloquent than I am. I have so many feelings, so many things. My question for you ladies, because you guys seem to know, is, do I need to delete my period tracker? I'm seeing different things that I should and I shouldn't, and I don't know if I should or not. Part of me says I should. So I don't know. Thoughts, feedback. And today, Monday, that's June 27th, there were 2 good podcast episodes that I thought you guys would like to listen to if you haven't heard them already. The Daily from today, which was titled 4 Abortion Clinics, the day Roe ended. They talked to people that work in abortion clinics on Friday. Oh my gosh. It was a tough listen, but it's really good. And then the other one is Shortwave, which is NPR Daily Science Project podcast. And that talked about something called the Turnaway Study, which followed like 1,000 women 10 years after having an abortion or not being able to get one. I'm planning to read that. But there is a podcast that was re-released today that was with the author. It was really good. So, I've been...
And now for part 2.
Hi, it's Maggie again. I was almost done, too, when I got cut off. That's what you said? I started donating to the National Network of Abortion Funds maybe in May, maybe before... Maybe, it's probably earlier this spring, because I think Dan Savage had mentioned it. And so I just decided I needed to start donating. So yeah. Okay. Sending love and hugs. We're just going to have to fight, and it's going to be long and hard, but we can do this. I hope. I know we can. It's just, there's a lot. Now you're going, because I'll get cut off again. So, love you ladies lots. Love and hugs. Colleen, hope you're feeling better from COVID. Shandy, hope the move went well. And Amanda, hope you and Eden are doing awesome. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Maggie. Shandy, what you missed was Maggie said that she also liked Clueless the best. And now she's inspired to buy the DVD.
Excellent. That is a position I support.
I don't know if we were necessarily eloquent, but thank you. So Maggie's question was whether or not to delete the period tracker app. I think we kind of touched upon that. You can either, delete it and keep paper copies of your tracking, or maybe get a normal calendar app and put another suggestion I saw was non-period tracking app, because some of them have been selling data to third parties, which is disgusting in general. But you can also just get a regular calendar app and make up your own symbols or keywords for your period or whatever you're tracking. Maybe I don't know, maybe you say panda on days that you get your period, or bright panda, light panda, pink panda, dark brown panda.
I like panda. Is there a panda emoji? Just throw that up.
Probably. They've had they had dozens of emojis now.
You know what? This is a thing we can activate.
Dozens of them.
I'm gonna look.
Yes.
So that's a suggestion that you can do. Yeah. Again, you can keep it and wreak havoc on it. You You do need to make sure that your data is deleted if you do decide to. Yep, there is a panda emoji.
Yeah, it's the face, not a full body. There's not a full body, but there's a cartoon face panda.
Well, there you go.
It's cute.
Yeah, you just make sure that when you're deleting the app, that you're like deleting your data too, because just because it's not on your phone and you stop tracking it doesn't mean that your data previously is not still out there somewhere.
Nothing ever is completely gone.
Yeah, and then unless like something electronic when you really need it,
yeah,
then those end up being gone forever. She talked about the Dailies for Clinics episode. That was a really tough but great listen to. They redeemed themselves from Saturday's episode. Really heartbreaking. Like if you don't if you're out there and you're listening to this still and you don't understand what the big deal is about abortion as healthcare, or just the different reasons, and you don't even need to have a reason. Your reason can just simply be, I don't want to be pregnant. Like it's
it's nobody's business but yours.
But it was a very sobering listen. But they did a really good job. I've never heard of NPR shortwave, but I'm definitely going to check that out. It shouldn't be that we have to relive, like women in general collectively have to like relive trauma, and like somebody shouldn't have to go to their manager at Dick's and be like, I need $5,000 so I can go have an abortion out of state. Like, you shouldn't have to do that. It's the same as like when you say with GoFundMe's, like, greatest country in the world, richest country in the world, and people need to solicit help from strangers to pay for medical procedures. Like, it's fucking atrocious. It truly is. But I had read some really interesting threads throughout the weekend, and one of it was just women just telling their stories. Like, everybody talks about like the loss of life and the potential life that could have been, and why don't we actually right here now in this thread talk about the lives that came about because of the abortion you were able to have. And like she started, it was like, I was when I found out I was pregnant, my husband and I were addicts. We had an abortion and realized it was our time to get cleaned up, and we would not have the success and the family that we have now and our children that we have now if we weren't able to get an abortion and clean up our act. And there were like dozens of women on this thread that just had similar stories. Like, if I wasn't able to have an abortion when I was 17 because I wouldn't have been able to take care of a child, I wouldn't have been able to go to college and become a doctor or whatever that person was, and be able to start a stable family that gave my kids a good life now. And I think framing and perspective is very key when you're trying to win public opinion, but also keeping in mind that whatever reason somebody has for reproductive health care, that still it shouldn't matter. Like, the reasoning shouldn't matter. You should just be able to have that choice. But I do think that in a war of public opinion, when the other side is just screaming about murdering unborn babies, that nobody's standing up for their life, their rights, I do think that it is always helpful to keep in mind to have discussions that talk about all of the the good and the bad and all whatnot.
Well, to just zoom out a little bit and look at the larger, more nuanced view.
Yes. Thank you.
Because it is easy to think you are on the moral high ground when you are looking at a razor's edge.
Right. I mean, I thought it was great, the memes with the stats that come around, like the treatment for this is abortion, the treatment for this is abortion, the treatment for this is abortion. And that actually is kind of great because that, really shows the, like, more women out there that probably had needed an abortion, and it wasn't even for just to terminate an unwanted pregnancy. Like, there were actual, it's more nuanced. It's a bigger picture. It's not just what you're seeing. And I do think that putting a name and a face and a humanity behind decisions that people make and whatnot is also somewhat helpful. But, at the end of the day, like I said, it really shouldn't matter. It should just be your own personal decision.
I mean, it should just be that we are seen as like full humans, again, that should be enough.
Right.
And I think I agree that putting like education about what it actually is and the broader context and these personal stories can be helpful for maybe like, you know, some people who were against, but for the vast majority, I think the problem comes back to the fact that it's not about any of that. Like, it's really for a couple of people who are truly brainwashed and really do think that what they're supporting is like the right to life or whatever.
But there were a lot of people in our generation that our parents were like in that, like, you know, Reagan generation, for lack of a better word, that like, and we're less religious than our parents were, that actually I do think never stopped to think about it outside what they were taught, because it never really applied to them, or if it applied to them because they had a miscarriage that was missed and their body didn't expel it and they needed the DNC, and like they didn't stop to think, oh yeah, now I've had an abortion. I just
sure, and maybe that will help.
Stupid.
I think it's just like it's just existing like in the structure of patriarchy where like that's the underlying problem, is that it's not about any of that. It's not about science. It's not about anything. It's just about controlling women. And that's the harder part to like dismantle, because you can come at that with science and facts and stories, and it, you know, it doesn't matter. But you know, for a couple people, maybe it will get them to think a little bit.
I think it does. I do. I think as the woman on Pod Save America actually so eloquently put it, that, you know, there are some people who are late to the movement, but like we get so lost in arguing like, do you belong here? You haven't been here as long as me, that we forget that it's about like it's about the strength of the numbers, and it's about like having to, like, if we don't work together on this and accepting people and don't make them like, you know, don't stop actuallying people for like stupid shit. And if somebody's heart's in the right place, you can gently educate them and steer them the right way. You know what I mean? Like, I know that that's such a stupid, like, neolib kind of thing to say, like, be nice to everybody that's on your side. But, like, conservatives literally had, like, they were basically, like, so many of them were, like, one-issue voters for 40 years, and they stuck together through all the shit, and look what they accomplished. And maybe I'm just tired and confused and...
No, I mean, you're not wrong. And it's not just like some dumb neo-lib shit. Like, it's demonstrably true that it's easier to win. Like, it's, if you're in a discussion or an argument with someone, it's much easier to have a productive conversation if you find common ground and like all of the yada, yada, yada. Like, you know, it's easier to be a purist, and it's harder to be more, I don't know, like,
well, it's also easier to...
Right. We get where you're going. Like, we all agree on this matter.
Yeah. And then to wrap it up, Maggie talked about donations. I'm glad you brought that up, because I actually pulled together a bunch of resources. I won't name them all here. I can put some of them in the show notes, but there's a list of, if you want to go to a website that has a list of abortion funds that you can donate to in every state, it's https://donations for the numeral 4 number 4 donationsforabortion.com, and that kind of has like a link tree to all the different if you want to go like state specific for your state. An organization called Sister Song is aimed specifically at reproductive justice for Black and Indigenous people, and that's sistersong.net. The National Abortion Federation has been another one that people, especially women, and several threads by women of color I saw also linked to it. National Abortion Federation, it's prochoice.org, and that's just the Professional Association of Abortion Providers, and their Twitter is @NatAbortionFed. And yeah, there's a lot of resources out there if you are looking to donate. Ro in the chat said that she donated to the National Network of Abortion Funds. Thank you, Ro. We can add that one to the list. And yeah, like I said, there's a lot of organizations out there. Just make sure you vet them.
Yeah.
because you don't want to give to some, like, one of those, like, anti-choice, pro-life clinics that are they're pregnancy crisis centers where they, like...
Yes, thank you. That was the term. I was, like, sitting here trying to think of what it was.
Where,
those assholes.
Those assholes, where they, give you ultrasounds, and they're like, your baby can feel the pain when you rip them out of your womb, and, those assholes.
Tears. They have tears.
They have tears. They cringe in pain when the vacuum comes for them. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh.
I have a brainstem at that point.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was awful. Yeah, buckle in, ladies. It's gonna be a hell of a fight. All right, on that note, everybody, thank you, Maggie. Thank you to everybody that is listening. Housekeeping notes, we will be recording again next week, which I believe is July 5th, and then we will be recording again on July 13th. And the 13th, I think we're going to talk about Stranger Things Season 4?
God willing.
God willing. God willing.
Demigorgon willing.
Demigorgon willing. If not, maybe we can watch the Janes as a backup. But we're going to try. We're going to try for Stranger Things. We're going to try. Oh, Shandy just pointed out, I didn't realize that we actually, since we started recording, we have an Andy update. So let's do the Andy update real quick. Sorry.
Ah, yes.
Totally didn't even see that.
All right, Andy's bringing us home. Andy writes in, "Hey, broads. I really don't know how to start this one. Obviously, we're all some combination of angry, sad, and afraid over what happened Friday. While there isn't much I can do to stop the inevitable pain that's coming if it isn't happening already, if there's any consolation I can give, it's that this isn't over. As much as Republicans are dusting off their mission accomplished banners from the first month of Iraq..."
Oh my god, I was drinking water and I'm dead at that joke. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna drink this away from the microphone now.
They ought to know that getting what they want now doesn't mean there won't be long-term complications. So, of course, your feelings are valid, but we need to make sure we ultimately channel that rage, fear, and sadness into activism. I really wish I had more to say than that, but here we are. Oh, fuck the Supreme Court, Trump, and everyone else who made this happen. Hashtag #onwithhers, Andy. And yes, I agree. Fuck the Supreme Court, Trump, and everyone else who made this happen. You know who you are.
Yep. Also, fuck all the Democrats that sent out, first of all, and everybody has pointed this out, all the fundraising text messages that we got on Friday.
I'm still getting them.
It was so, I know I got a bunch today too. It was so absurd. I, just stopped looking at them, but the conservatives were getting them too, because at dinner that night, my mom asked me if I was getting text messages. So they were getting them too. So both sides just as bad with fundraising texts.
Which I would love what that messaging is. Like, we won. Give us more money so we can keep winning.
Well, they had them. So when my mom...
Congratulations, you have fewer rights. Give us more money so we can take more away.
Right. Pretty much. Like, the radical liberals are like AOC are going to come after it. We need money to keep it safe.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you, Andy. We are grateful for your allyship, as always. So that's right. Be an ally. Leave the trafficking. Don't call an underground railroad, because we had an underground railroad. It was something completely separate.
Different.
Don't be disrespectful. But leave the stuff to the professionals and help them. Be allies as you can help them do their thing. I don't know. Maybe
great place to start.
Yes, maybe go out there, especially if you're a man, and Google the abortion pill from whatever country it is in Europe, so you can help slip it along on a piece of paper. Use your incognito browsers. All right. On that note, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you to the patrons that are here tonight. We love hanging out with you. Thank you to everybody. If you'd like to become a patron, go to patreon.com/JNJack. Thank you to the ones that contribute a certain level, and that would be Eckhart, Rigner, Tack from Tokyo, Maggie the Magnificent, Joanne with Plan, and Ed the Creepy Mailman. Thank you guys so much. We'll be back next week. Hopefully this episode isn't as delayed as the other one was. I apologize for that. And Special shout out to Matt, who is taking a sabbatical from the Ramblecast After Dark. Our doors are always open if you ever want to come and draw pictures on our show for a little while.
Yes,
we love
yes.
You, Matt.
Yep. The 5th of Broad. We could use a list.
Yeah.
We could. Always.
We could use a list.
It's been a long time.
It's been a minute.
Send us an email, thebroadcasters3@gmail.com, or give us a call at 331-276-2373. Okay, on that note, I am really done. My name is Colleen.
My name is Amanda.
And I'm Shandy.
Peace out, everybody.
Bye.